The theme of my adventure from the beginning, and as it still is embracing the chaos that is life, the impermanent nature of the world, and since I am part of the world, thus of myself. But I started off with a rough plan on what I wanted to do. Go to the Rainbow Gathering, then go to a Zen monastery and train for a bit, and contemplate becoming a monk or writing a book about my adventures. And that was just a month long plan that I had. Of course, things did not turn out like that. Flying to Athens, spent some time with my father, very nice. Next day, early in the morning, bit chaotic trying to find the bus. Bus journey was a lot more pleasant than I was expecting. And the next stage was getting the second bus, which no one could give me information on, that I was a bit worried about finding. That was the height of my anxiety before and what I was worried about. Then, of course, came across a bunch of hippies who were getting the same bus. I realised the bus was just a guy in a van, crammed about, 12 hippies into a van. Headed off to the Rainbow Gathering. Came across a turtle going across the road, and of course we had to stop and take the turtle off the road, and there was a debate on should we put the turtle into the safe zone where there is food and water for him, or should we put him to where he was heading to. So do we know better than the turtle, most likely, and put him where the food is, or let the turtle sort itself out, but give him a little bit of help and bring him across the side of the road? And we decided to put the turtle on the side of the road. There was no food and water, but he was heading there for some reason. Got to the Rainbow Gathering, had the confronting anxiety of, I have nothing to do today. For the first time in years, I have no reason to wake up. Nothing to do. What should I do? And this actually scared me a good bit, and I realised I could do whatever I please. And then I had to confront, well, what is it I want to actually do? And then went with non-entertainment, don't need to do anything, don't want to do anything, I've done it already, everything I need to do, which is nothing grand, and I can enjoy myself better, meditate, exercise, do energy work, and so on and so forth. Then I went back down to Babylon, had to readapt to the way modern society works, and go, what? But it was in North Greece, so a good slow pace there to adapt to modern society. Got sick, and when I got sick, got into a car. Thought we were going to one place. When I woke up, we were still in the place to sleep in a ditch, covered in ants. Attacked with all sorts of insects. To adapt to the insects, I had to surrender my body to the mosquitoes. Because I was sick, I couldn't go to the monastery, and that therefore scuppered my month plan. And now, no plans, and just embracing the chaos and going with the flow, which was which was scary at the time, hell of a lot easier then than it is now. Celebrated my 27th birthday with the local gangsters at a reggae gig, very nice. Got to understand the values of the people of North Greece. They value freedom and personal autonomy. For example, if you see these signs that say if you don't get a receipt of payment, you therefore don't have to pay the shop. What this meant was if you went to a place and they didn't give you a receipt, it means they weren't paying their taxes because they viewed government authority as a foreign South Greece thing, because people of South Greece, according to the people of North Greece, are jealous of everything they have. Which is actually very little in terms of how modern day economics measures wealth, but a lot in terms of nature. These people really enjoyed just carrying on with their day. Got to Samothraki. At this stage, I'm doing less exercise and spiritual work and energy work than I was doing in the Rainbow Gathering. Was a bit annoyed with the touristy aspect of Samothraki, but then so I went, alright, well, here I am, just accept the way it is, and I could enjoy it better, the waterfalls, bathing naked, that kind of thing. I was meditating naked in a waterfall. I came across a bunch of people, and I said to myself, "Oh damn, these people are disrupting my meditation. I better go somewhere else to do Tai Chi naked or whatever." Then I heard people talk about the rainbow gatherings. So, oh, cool, they're my fellow brethren, and they all happen to be shamans. And we talk about shamanism for a bit. Myself being influenced by Taoist shamanism. One guy, I believe he was from Spain, went off to Peru to study shamanism, did a soul retrieval. And instead of a visual experience, it was more of a intellectual. Took me back to a place where I'd been hurt and damaged a lot, that had influenced my way of thinking for the past year. Got me to rethink, more compassion about the situation, and got me to put to sleep that section of my life, and I grew a lot because of it. Did a shamanic journey, which I saw myself as this kind of a black, slim, kind of Buddhist, kind of African tribal statue creature. Came across animal spirit guides, weren't entirely sure they were my own. My shamanic journey was heavily influenced by the fact that I was covered in insects at the time, so my shamanic guides were these large caterpillars that were turning into like snakes and dragons and kind of things. And these kind of things. That was a very interesting experience. I did get to do meditation exercise and energy work in soundtrack in the end. Then now my entire plans have completely destroyed, and I'm completely embracing chaos, that accepting that all my plans most likely will not actually happen. The traveling family kind of broke up. At one point I was like, oh, I'm on this island, I have no money and there's no ATM. Got off the island on the back of a scooter with all my gear and drum. So that was fine. I had to make the decision between, should I continue with the rainbow and go to Bulgarian rainbow, or go to Yalova, where there was what I was told as a Sufi music festival. Had a dream. The dream was myself in real time, as you see me now, packing away a cartoon guitar into a cartoon box made out of notes, and I had a conversation with Dream Analysis to help me interpret this as the fact that I was real being serious, but the fact that I was packing a cartoon guitar into a box, that I was putting my musical side of me into storage, but it's a bit ridiculous because that wild side of you never actually goes away. It's always there with you. You can repress it, you can store it away, but it'll always be there. So I took this as a decision that I was supposed to go to the Sufi Music Festival. On the way, got stuck in between the borders between Greece and Turkey, where you couldn't walk. This is after hours of trying how to get to the border. And we get to the border, we try and hitchhike onto a military truck, which they stopped for us. When we tried to get onto the truck, loads of people with machine guns came out and told us not to get into the truck. So we were stuck for, 5-6 hours in the duty free. Eventually, the director of Turkey, as I called him, but the director of the police, eventually got us a taxi, and we were able to get to a bus station, which we had to spend all night in the bus station until we get a bus to Istanbul, a ferry yellow a bus to what we now realised was a sema, called Tomato Sema, 24 hours, 7 days a week, Sufi music, where I completely reconnected with myself, the music, musicians and everything. Did some meditation, exercise and energy work, and I was so far the best experience of my trip. Then followed by going to Istanbul, which in some ways you could say was a mistake, but I learned a lot from coming to Istanbul. A guy that was at the SEMA I met at Galata Tower. He didn't speak very good English. I speak too fast, and he could understand what I was saying. He was saying home, 7 lira. Well, thought he meant he was going to charge me 7 lira to stay at his home. I said, well, that's better than 20 lira to stay in hostel. So I went back to his and realised he meant it cost 7 lira to get back. For us, we didn't spend any money to get back because his Kurdish friends picked us up, and I was funny because when we got out of the car, they drove off, and I thought they had robbed all my stuff. And I chased them and got my stuff back, and they were just parking the car. And they were like, next time a Turkish man tells you to stop, you should stop. The Kurdish people were very difficult for me to embrace in the beginning because they were predominantly speaking Kurdish. So most of the time I just sat still, worked on my posture and meditation while these people were talking. But then, of course, I kept being told that my body language was giving off being negative when I was really just practicing my posture. And so I had to stop doing that and start slouching more and becoming more Turkish. Just instead of saying please, thank you all the time, just take stuff when I wanted it. This girl, when she ate an entire bag of crisps, gave out to me. I didn't take the bag of crisps off her and eat them myself, because that's the way you should do things. You should eat the bag of crisps. So we'll take it off you when they want it. Regressed in a lot of ways in Turkey, or in Istanbul, meditating less, exercising less, energy work. Advanced a lot of areas in the theme of embracing the chaos. I injured myself. I hurt my side and I was in shock, and someone put the idea in my head, internal breathing. Panicked, went unconscious, banged my head, had several blackouts, and we all thought I was going to die. Went to the hospital, spent far too much on tests, completely wiped out all the money I had savings, put me to death. So ended up being penniless and homeless and injured in Istanbul. In hindsight, you could say, well, there was definitely better decisions I could have made at the time. If I didn't listen to that guy and I just laid down and went to sleep, I actually would have been fine the next day. Other than giving me IV drips and some painkillers to help it back, the doctors didn't actually do much other than confirm that I wasn't actually going to die. But we thought we were going to die at the time, and in a life-death situation, wasting lots of money, hospital bills, is still probably the best decision at the time. So I don't harbour any ill will towards this guy that put the idea in my head that I had internal bleeding. Then, of course, after a week of only sleeping 2 hours a day, conditions here in Istanbul are not the same as I did in Dublin, and actually preferred sleeping on the sides of the roads and beaches than living in a city. I liked a lot of the culture here, disliked a lot more. So after a week of only sleeping 2 hours a day and then being awake solidly for 2 days, most of which being in a hospital, in a very disillusioned state, I get tear gassed by the police. I believe I handled the police every time I interact with them pretty well. It's led to me met a lot of nice people in Istanbul. Meeting lots of really nice people is the high point of Istanbul. High point Turkey, of course, and the trip would be the SEMA. Of course, did come across one other Sufi SEMA, which was more strict Islamic. Men and women were split into two. Learned a bit about Istanbul history. For example, it gets its name from a water nymph called Biz, and a general was named after a water nymph called Biz, and thus came the name the Byzantine Empire, which built Constantinople and then eventually taken over by the Ottomans and renamed Istanbul. I came across Sumerian stuff as well. Played far too much Assassin's Creed, but alas, completed the game. I've been in Istanbul for 4 weeks, mostly playing computer games. That's how one area and how I regress. Quite amusing. Playing a video game in a city that you live in now. You're playing a game where you can climb and buy Galata Tower. I've been to Galata Tower all the time. You're killing all these soldiers in the Sultan's Palace, which I've been in, and seen the Harem Palace, which is a glorified rape room. And so, regress spiritually and exercise wise and health wise in Istanbul, but they're very good at embracing the chaos, feeling very well grounded. And now I have a ticket out of here after 4 weeks of Istanbul, 5 weeks in Turkey, coming up to 2 months of my trip. I'm now going to Konya tomorrow, or the plan is to go to Konya, and the plan is to meditate and exercise and do energy work every day while I'm living in a park again. Yay, park! Living in sort of nature. And listening to Sufi music every day. That is the plan. My plan's going to go ahead. So, continuing with the embrace the chaos, because I have another option, but to continuously embrace the chaos, there is some order to the universe, but it keeps changing, and once you identify the order, it will change maybe a lot, maybe only slightly. So embrace the chaos and following my dreams. I'm not saying that following your dreams is the best idea you could do, or the best advice you could follow, but if you're indecisive, following your dreams will be fun. They might be wild and realistic, but that means you'll have wild and crazy adventures, and it's a lot of fun. Special thanks to my host in Istanbul. We had a lot of fun together, grew a lot, made a lot of connections with Iranians, Greeks, Finnish. And I'm actually quite sad to leave Istanbul. I've been complaining for the past 4 weeks that I was only meant to be here for 4 days, and then I was head off again. But I'm actually beginning to miss it. Like, Istanbul has become kind of a home to me after I've gotten used to this chaotic city, man. It's very chaotic. But, it's very strong emotional connection to Turkey now. I hate it in lots of ways, love it in lots of ways, but I have a strong connection to people here. But now to Konya. Konya, I'm getting really excited about. It could be the next best bit of my trip. It could be the worst part of my trip. I don't know, because I never know what the outcome of plans are, because that is life.